Good evening, everybody. We're about 5 minutes away from show time. It's going to be an absolutely crazy, insane show tonight. I'm looking at my phone and I'm just seeing we've got a new button tonight, share to group. So maybe next week we'll try that. We'll sign on from here and we'll go ahead and share to our hashtag Barron Landscapes group, which might be kind of fun. We'll do that experiment next week. So see you in about 5 minutes. In the meantime, enjoy the scenery, the big wheels behind you and the art on the wall, Barron Landscapes, and some things that we're going to do tonight. So we'll see you in a little bit. Christopher, hey Dante. Fingers out of my cheesecake. Put that away. Roberta, good to see you. No. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Hey, Jerry, it's good to see you here. Laura, good to see you here. We'll be coming on in just a moment. Looking forward to this Barron Landscapes. It's going to be absolutely crazy this evening. Well, but you know that. That's why y'all are here. See you in a minute. Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Is that good, Athena? Am I low enough? Am I high enough? I wish I was. Jerry, gotta come and visit you, brother. Just asking Athena how the camera was. And you can, like, move it if I stand up and whatever. Don't have a blast. I know you. So, good afternoon, good evening to some of you. Good earlier evening to others. Welcome to Barron Landscapes. Got some music tonight. Got some magic tonight. Got some flat-out strange stuff to share with you tonight. I got my coffee tonight. And so I hope everybody's all right. Tonight's episode is the 16th episode. And I've been going online to see like what's out there. And, for good or bad, whatever's out there, there's nothing quite like Barron Landscapes. It's just an invitation for you to come into the living room and listen to me rant some more, see me play with some toys and have some fun, and maybe give you a minute to have some fun with me. Listen to some strange ideas, and we've looked at a lot of them. We saw on social media a dancing dog, and his friend, I hate to say handler or master, because they work together so well as a team. This dancing dog and this gentleman. And the moves were intricate. And I've worked with a lot of animal acts. I've worked in circus. A lot of you may not know that. But I worked in the Big 360. I was in the center ring. And I've seen a lot of animal acts. I used to work with Patty Gaddy. And Patty Gaddy had a lot of animal acts. I'd never seen anything as synchronous as these two were. They were communicating with each other, and you could tell. And the thing that really struck me about this dog performing in the video, and that conjures up some visions, right? Like, oh, this poor mangy animal is forced to perform for its supper. But this dog, y'all, had a smile on its face the whole time and was almost goading on her partner. And you could tell that they were playing off of each other. It was like watching a human couple, very finely tuned human couple dance, except they did things that, well, only a dog and a man couple could do. Just an amazing video. I don't know how you'd search it, but go find that. It's really worth it. Saw an old school movie that they had taken and turned it into a short and reacted it. And so it was just a new satirical take on an old movie. Find those kind of things out there. They're on the internet. Find Barron Landscapes once a week on the internet. You know what's making its way around again? And this is perfect for tonight's show because ages and ages and ages ago, there was a video that was put out, and it goes in all the magic groups. Every now and then we'll see it. Every couple of years it comes out. And it's a magician on stage with his assistants and the audience, and they're doing a divided woman in a box. It's a thin model box. And they cut her up. And then he gets a chainsaw. Well, he remembered to put gas in his chainsaw. He takes a chainsaw and he runs it through her neck, and blood sprays everywhere, and they separate the box, and so suffice it to say, because I'm not going to expose anything here, but it gets quite gruesome, and they even give away the illusion during this, how it's done. And assistants run on stage, and the audience are, whoa, and then the curtains close, and it makes the rounds every couple of years, and it's good. It's a very well-produced video. In fact, it's so well-produced that it doesn't look well-produced. That may not make sense to a lot of you, but to those of us in the business, it does. It was down-produced to give the illusion that somebody was filming this from the audience side and that everything went wrong. It's fake. It's fake. It's still fake. It was fake when it came out. It's still fake now. It was an ad. If you do a little research, it was an ad that came out in the 70s for an insurance company. And it's fake. Well, it's not fake. It's an ad for an insurance company, so it's very real. But what you think you see happen isn't at all what's happening. So good evening. It is Friday. For those of you that are still refusing to follow a calendar, it is Friday. It is episode 16, and the episode this week is called Fall Forward, Don't Look Back. We're going to talk about a few things. But first of all, I don't know if you guys have noticed, I use these videos and then I cut them apart, and you may not know this, but then I use them for sales videos and little teasers for our magic stuff. So permit me for just a minute to go a little wacko. We've got a couple of things out online, and for you magicians, these are 8-inch linking rings. We don't have the 8-inch sets. All we have are the 8-inch Quantum Q locking keys. And so these key rings are 8 inches. We're out of the 12-inch. We have no more 12-inch. I'm so sorry. Can't help you. We'll never be able to help you again. They're gone. They'll never be back. We do have 8-inchers. So for those of you that use 8-inch rings, these are the locking Q ring, the quantum locking Q ring, and you can handle them just as freely as I am. I hang all kinds of things off of mine. I do a routine called linking things. And so needless to say, for me, the rings never get linked. But other things do. It's a cute routine. I may do that on here someday when I decide to do a bunch of real good magic for you. So 8-inch Quantum Q rings. We've got quite a few of those. We're doing a flash sale on those right now. And somebody asked me what our 12-inch rings sounded like, which is not as odd a question as you might think. A lot of magicians base the quality of a ring on its ring, on its tone. And our sets come in 8s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Our sets come in 8s, just like every other standard set. And I love the tone on these. The tonality is phenomenal. And when you throw them up and link them, now this is going to go out of your sight for a minute, but when they come back in, you'll be able to see what's going on. So when you toss them up to link them, they sound just gorgeous. These things have a ring on them like crazy. So we do have 12-inch. We do have 12-inch sets of the rings for sale currently. Just no 12-inch Quantum Qs like the 8-inch Quantums that we still have. And Joaquin, thank you for your order. We'll get that off to you Monday. Everything ships on Monday. Fall forward, don't look back. And I think one of the things that becomes important to us at this point is tomorrow, not what's behind us. And here we are at fall already. Believe it or not, yes it is. We're ending summer. We're coming into fall. Let's fall forward. Let's move ahead. And there are some things that we're going to have to consider, I think, when we're moving ahead. And I don't like to say it, and you don't like to hear it, but you guys, we may be in for the long haul. And all I'm saying is maybe it's time to plan on that long haul, being in it for the long haul, taking care of ourselves for the long haul, taking care of our businesses for the long haul. I know Athena and I are getting ready to do another turnaround on our business. Really got to push doing things online. It's a pivot. Well, there you go. But it's a wet cough. I want to thank everybody who mowed today. Again, for yellow mowing on show day, Friday. Appreciate it. Obviously, they don't watch the show. Athena and I, it's been a rough week. And I've got to tell you, it's been one of those weeks where I imagine some people would be asking their God, why me? Why are you doing this to me? And we're not asking any God or goddess or gods or deities. Why us? And quite frankly, tonight I want to talk about the universe. And so when I tell you this, we look at the universe, and the universe sends us whatever it does, and it does it thoughtlessly. It does it disregarding any consequence or benefits that you may get from the universe. The universe does not care one bit about us. Now, that's not as dismal as it may seem. In fact, the universe, this big organism that we're part of, may not care about us, but we can make sure that we get what we need. Notice I said need, not necessarily want. We get what we need from the universe, and that's what we're going to talk about tonight when we get into the main subject. So I hope you're ready for heavy. It's not going to be religious. It's not religious, I don't think. You might find it spiritual to some degree, but not religious at all. And you're going to get to know me a little bit more, and you'll see my view of the universe. And I'm not asking you to accept my view. It's my view. It may not be your view at all. I do know some people that I've talked to have said, hey, that really makes sense. And I embrace it. We'll talk about that. Jerry, I wanted to talk directly to you. Jerry Foster is watching tonight. And Jerry did a beautiful little thing, like a vignette for me last night. Went live, and we talked a little bit live. Jerry's trying to get in to the live feeds. And because he's an old guy, you know, it takes him a while to figure out the tech and stuff, and he plays really groovy music, but it is, it's like he plays groovy music. If you guys are into the Grateful Dead, if you guys are into any of my favorites, catch Jerry's feed when he finally decides to go live. But Jerry shared a thing with me last night, and we were talking about our hands. As we get older, our hands begin to betray us as magicians, and we can no longer function as we used to. And I'm not going to do it tonight, Jerry, but I did want to show you that we discussed this last night, and you brought these out, and you clacked them together. And I understand the joy of that, clacking your balls together. When you're a magician and you do multiplying balls, or you do manipulation of billiard balls, these are the size that I like. My hands have always been small, and so these are the size I like. Jerry, listen to this. That's right, they're lacquer-covered, wooden, multiplying balls. And these came from Germany, and we've had these forever. And I'm hoping eventually to turn these over to my granddaughter or a grandson, one of the grandkids that picks up magic. I'd love for them to have these and to perfect them. And boy, will I show you some moves, kids. Really, Victoria, hoping it's you, kiddo, but no pressure there. So, Jerry, you're not the only one that has these balls. I've got balls, too. So nice to share that with you. And, goodness. So, that old video of the girl getting caught in half reminded me of a joke. I know, that's pretty morbid, isn't it? And the joke is right here in Darwin's 101 Plus Death Jokes. That's right. Gary Darwin wrote a book on death jokes. And this one is on sawing a woman in half. And one night I put a woman in the box and sawed her in half. I still remember the lights, the costumes, the box, the screams, the blood, and the amazing applause. Thank you, Gary. You're still belting them out, even from wherever you are. I hope a little piece of Gary was here, although he probably wouldn't have witnessed that. He's just molecular at this point. But I hope he just flew through me and went, "You didn't read that with enough passion." This evening, I want to talk a little bit about the universal picture. Oh, and by the way, thanks to the guys with the music. What you got in the background right now that you can barely hear, and I want it that way, is Pet Rock by Justin Clemens. The universal picture. I put a picture up on my Facebook wall, and it was a picture of our universe, and it was pieced together from satellites, from the satellite view that they're way out in space, and from the Hubble as well, and it gives you kind of this two-dimensional, unless, Pete, for you, I turn it three-dimensional, which I did when I posted the second one today, when I said, what if there is no truth? This picture has got so many stars in it, so many planets in it, it's so deep and dark, and it's so crowded, and it's from so far away that when we look at one of the little spots of lights, what we're not seeing is a sun, we're seeing many suns. In fact, all the spots of lights that we see in that picture, and there are about 288,000 of them in that picture, all the spots of lights are galaxies. And let me put that into a size comparison for you. Those are galaxies, 288,000 galaxies that we can see. And in each of those galaxies are solar systems, and we are part of the Milky Way galaxy, and our solar system is in the Milky Way galaxy, and we're looking at 288,000 plus of the Milky Way galaxies in that picture. That's huge. That's immeasurable. It's beyond comprehension. Somebody said that it broke their head just trying to think about it. Well, don't. Don't think about it. Stop thinking about it. The universe is so huge, and when I say universes, you'll hear me add that S. The universe is so huge that we don't know how much there is from side to side. We simply don't. We don't know how many stars are out there or how many galaxies. We can extrapolate, we can guess, but best case scenario, that guess is based on, well, we just don't know how big the universe is or how many of them there are or if there are multiverses. And it's a huge, huge place. Now, when I say that the universe doesn't care, it doesn't mean that you don't care and that your friends and family don't care. Of course we care. We're living in this here and now. But the universe doesn't wish you well. The universe doesn't wish you harm. The universe doesn't wish you anything, being that we are part of the universe. And I promised you a little blasphemy. I promised you an attack on the sacred. Not really. It's not blasphemous. It's not an attack on the sacred. This is my point of view. Because you see, I've been searching for a long, long time. And you don't have to buy this point of view at all. It may not work for you at all. It works for me just fine. And the little amount of time we've got right now to go through it isn't a whole lot of time, and so I'm just going to give you the basics of my view. So we tried Judaism. Judaism's fine, but man, it's pretty strict. And I looked into Catholicism and religious science. Nothing sat right with me. All my life I was looking for the truth. The truth is out there. And I started sitting down with some friends over coffee, over tea, over lunch, over dinner while I was out on the road. And we had this group that used to get together. And it sounds like the beginning of a pretty good joke. It's a Jew, a Muslim, a Hindi, and a Mormon get together to talk about God. But it really isn't a joke. We weren't discussing faiths or religion so much as we were, what did we think God meant to us? And could we get to each other's God? Could I understand the Hindi gods and deities? Could I understand Allah? Could I understand the Mormon God? And we talked, and we talked, and it turns out, after many years of conversation, we had an agreement one day, and that agreement was this. No matter what we called it, we were all talking about the same thing. That God, those gods, that goddess, what were we talking about? And I didn't have that answer. And I didn't like God as a name. So I was looking for more, for something else. And I didn't believe that God was angry and punishing. But I didn't believe that God was rewarding and fulfilling dreams either. And so I looked, and I looked, and I looked. And the answer came looking up in the heavens. It went on forever. And I thought, I feel so small looking up at the heavens. Something really strange happened that night looking up at the heavens. My world was inverted. Everything flip-flopped. And what came to me came from the universe, and the universe, to me, through me, and in me said, "You're not small at all. You're huge. And you're right where I need you. Think about it." So I thought about it. You know, in science, something stuck through my science classes. And one of the things that stuck was this. One of my professors said, all matter has been created. Everything that will ever be is. And they didn't mean playing cards. And they didn't mean iPhones. Check this out, you guys. The other half of the card that's still in here answers all my questions about the universe. All matter that ever will be already is. It's been created. It's here now. And things don't need to be understood. We don't need answers to our questions. What an odd thing to think about on that night when the universe opened up. We don't need answers. Now here, we need answers because we're living daily and answers affect us, questions affect us. But in the scheme of things, in this giant universe, we don't need answers. Everything may just be an illusion. Things may not be what we think or what they seem. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. So, really, you're supposed to just click. So, as we go through this life, I don't worry about what comes after. What I know is this. The universe is operating. It's functional. And it's functioning exactly as it should be. Exactly as it's meant to be. And that doesn't have to be by anything or anyone in particular. It just is. As freaky as things may seem. Now, you see the big square here with the light gray on the left and the dark gray on your right. And you see the strip, which is exactly opposite, with the light gray on the left and the dark gray on the right. Now remember that. That's important. The light gray on the right and the dark gray on the left. And I'm just going to flip that strip around. And still, that strip, light gray on your right, dark gray on your left. In fact, let me do it right here for you. I'm just going to flip that strip around. And we have light gray on your right and dark gray on your left. You can question, you can explain, you can science this. It's an optical illusion. In fact, that middle strip is lying to us. That middle strip just happens to be one color all the way across. And so I'm singing one of my friend's songs. And it's one of my favorite songs at Christmas time. It's Mary, Do You Know? And a line leapt out at me, and I think I scared Athena because it was a moment of realization for me several years ago. And the line connected me looking up at the sky, things going topsy-turvy, not having someone up there watching that's going to punish or reward me, and it all came to me. And the line in the song was, the great I am. The great I am. And I listened to it literally. I'd always listened to it figuratively. I thought the great I am, I'd been raised to think the great I am, I believe the great I am was speaking about some God. And that night I heard it as speaking about me, the great I am, not just me, but you, and Athena, and the grandchildren, and the great-grandchildren, all of the people, all of the world, all of the worlds, all of the galaxy, all of the solar system, all of the universes. The great I am is what we're a part of. And it may not seem like it right now. It may seem like we're divided and like we're not part of the sameness. But I promise you we are. We're getting there. Look at us on this planet as if we have a virus. Oh, not that virus. As if we are the virus. And we're now trying to heal. And we may not see it in our lifetime, people. It doesn't matter. The great I am. All matter exists. I am part of matter. My bits and pieces, when I am gone, will go into the dust. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. The rest of me, the great part of me, the electrical part of me, the molecular part of me, will be set free finally. And out they will go. Back to the universe where they belong, wherever that may be, right along with the rest of you and everything that ever has been and everything that ever will be, the great I am. And that's the universal picture. And you want to hear crazy? You want to hear crazy? So I've been talking to the universe a lot this week, saying, universe, I need some things, and here's what I need. Never give the universe your wants. The universe doesn't care about what you want. But it seems like if you toss your I needs out there, synchronicity occurs, and in one way or another, your needs will be met, and this works. For those of you that pray, pray aloud. For those of you that chant, chant aloud. For those of you that put out to the universe, or your God, or your gods, or your goddess, or your deities, do it aloud. Because we're all talking to the same thing. Doesn't matter what you call it. It doesn't have a name we can call it. And as for those answers we seek, as for those truths that we seek, they don't exist. But they exist everywhere. We are part of these universes. It is part of us. You are truly star stuff. And now you know. Those are my beliefs. You don't have to share them. You don't have to like them. That's just part of who I am. And universe, if you're hearing me, I got some needs this month. So y'all, it's Friday. It's going to be Friday next week. And we never did name last week's show. And so all 15 shows are now up on YouTube. I'll be posting the link in both the hashtag Barron Stringfellow by Barron A, hashtag Barron Landscape by Barron A Stringfellow group. I'll be posting it on my profile wall so that y'all can go. Maybe somebody would be masochistic enough to binge all 15. I hope not. I don't want to hear if you do that. I don't want to think that I caused anyone to do that. Now, this evening, before we leave, I want you to take a look at my little buddy, Abra Capuchin. And I want to point something out. Excuse me, still wet. Abra has gotten an addition to himself. Now, I don't know who did this, and you're certainly not in trouble because I think it's absolutely hilarious, and it goes very well with tonight's subject, Fall Forward, Don't Look Back. Apparently, Abra Capuchin, in his travels in our house, has picked up a little green rubber ducky. And I'm not going to question it. It is what it is. How you doing, buddy? Well, that's what I thought. Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, everybody out there watching, I appreciate your time. Thanks for coming and spending it with me. Thanks for listening to my craziness. I'm going to leave you with this. Don't look back, y'all. It's going to get rough. And that's just my opinion. I think it's going to get rough. Athena and I are getting prepared for it to get rough. We've got a lot of things coming down. You see the stuff I post on my wall. People like giving me a messenger. Why you got to be so dreary? Why you can't be happy? Folks, I don't have to be happy. You don't have to be happy. It's not in the rules. There's no rule book that says, hey, you got to be happy when there's murder hornets and Sharknadoes. There has not been a Sharknado. I'm sorry, I just did that. Here's the deal. We got to be real, and I'm going to keep it real. It may get rough. It may get rougher than it is right now, and we've got to do this. We're going to do it together. Just remember, the universe isn't on your side, but it's not against you either. You're not being punished. You're not being gifted. It is literally what it is. So I'll leave you with that this week, folks, because we love you. We love each and every one of you. Hug yourselves for us, and we'll hug ourselves for you. And in the meantime, until I see you right here on Barron Landscapes next Friday, hashtag Barron Landscapes. Follow us all over the internet. I will leave you with this. So long, and thanks for all the fish.